Is there life after Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime? Yes, there is. But before we get into this list, here is a word from our sponsors.
And today's video is sponsored by Maximo, the rideshare automation app that allows drivers to safely and easily accept ride requests for Uber, Lyft, and Postmates. Whether you drive for a single platform or multiple platforms, Maximo's custom settings can help you drive more efficient, less distracted, and help you maximize your earnings. It will automatically accept one trip, turn off the other apps, and when your trip is over, it will end it, open the other apps, and accept the next trip, all without you having to touch your phone. Use referral code APP60 and get your first month free when you subscribe to Maximo.
Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and life changed for everyone when this company came into business. And they actually changed life in a couple different ways. First of all, I have been a Netflix customer for I don't even remember how many years now. It has to be pretty close to when the company started. I remember when I was like young, like 14 or so. So shoot, this is more than 15 years ago, I think, where we got an email saying, "Hey, do you want to try a new service called Netflix for a month?" What you do is you go to our website, you select the movies you want to rent, and we mail you the DVDs, and then you mail them back. And there's no late fees. And having been burnt by Blockbuster late fees for so many years, the family decided to give it a try. And the first month we did it, we loved it. We were just turning things around. It was convenient. And then at some point, we got to a moment where, yeah, we did hold on to movies for like a week, 2, sometimes 3 before watching it and sending it back. And there was no late fees, and it was great. And then Netflix blew our mind again. Online streaming, and they made it easy and they made it smooth. And I remember and actually they made it part of the DVD subscription. I remember having the Xbox 360, setting up our Netflix account and streaming something. Like, there were so many things we could watch, so many classics, Anchors Away, Disney movies, all this stuff. Then, you know, the honeymoon kind of came to an end when it's like, oh, by the way, the DVDs and the streaming, they're separate services, so we're going to double your bill. But you know what? We got over that really, really quick. And Netflix has been a mainstay in the home for a long time. And Netflix is even changing the game with original content. Heck, they even had an almost Best Picture winner in Roma. I think Roma should have won, although I admit I do like Green Book quite a bit. And here's the thing. As much as I have loved this company, I always kind of wondered, where's this going to lead? Because the thing is, at some point, someone's going to want to like do this stuff themselves, and maybe we're going to start seeing more streaming channels. Maybe we're going to start seeing more competitors. And that was true. At some point, when people realized how successful Netflix was at combating piracy, TV networks, companies, they got together, they formed Hulu. And then Amazon decided they were going to get into the mix where they would have certain things you could stream for free, but the rest you would pay to rent. Well, believe it or not, it has gotten much, much bigger. There are so many more streaming companies out there than just those 3 services. And as you watch this, I am probably in bed having gone to a dentist get a real deep cleaning, and I'm probably miserable with a sore mouth. So as I recover, let's go on this pre-recorded journey, and I want to share what some of my top 10 favorite streaming sites that are not Netflix, Hulu, or Amazon Prime. Truthfully, I'm never going to have Amazon Prime, but I do acknowledge it's a good service. When I'm at my parents' house and I use it, it works, it's solid. Woody Allen's Crisis in 6 Scenes was actually pretty funny. I'm not crazy about them holding honors with movie, but you know, whatever. So let's talk about streaming sites that I like, that you might not be aware exist. And let's start with this one because I have a feeling it would be anticlimactic if I saved it towards the end. I will save my favorite for the end, but I moved this one to the front, even though it's somewhere in the middle, because I love Broadway. And Broadway tickets are expensive, to be frank. Me and Katie are seeing Aladdin in a couple weeks, and after almost $400 for me, her, and our 2 nieces. But it's fun. But hey, if you want to, do this for, introduce your kids to like a lot of Broadway style shows, or maybe even just relive certain performances but not have to buy the full ticket, or heck, sometimes they're not even available, you can do this $8.99 a month or $99.99 a year. Now let's look at some of the shows that they have here. They have some pictures in the background, but it's always good to kind of look to see what, you know, the overall scope is. So you have like Ruthless, the musical. We have The Sound of Music Live. Not a huge fan of that one. Bye Bye Birdie. And this one's like an interesting one because this actually seems like the TV movie, but whatever. A Night with Janis Joplin. So it looks like they've actually expanded to, Brokeback Mountain. I didn't know they turned it into a play Broadway thing. Well, anyway, let's go down here a little bit. So here's more like what I'm talking about. You have Daddy Longlegs, Disney's Broadway. Oklahoma, starring Hugh Jackman. And I don't know what these are. Then you have the award winners. American in Paris, the musical. Sutton Foster in concert. I, by the way, saw her live in Shrek the Musical. She was Fiona. Then you have the Cirque du Soleil. Here's musicals in general. Drama. Okay, so Brokeback Mountain is a drama. These are where they don't sing songs, I believe. They just it's like stage productions. You have comedy, you have concerts. So they actually have expanded a little bit. They have Shakespeare, foreign theater, but the bottom line is they still emphasize the stage. And yeah, things like Janice, I think though that's a documentary, but since, these streaming services all find ways to broaden out. But I like this thing because I can relive some Broadway experiences I might not have been able to have on stage, or in some cases, I get to re-experience them. So Broadway HD, $100 a year. That's actually cheaper than 2 tickets to see an actual Broadway show, so that's a bit of a bargain. Now this one is kind of a cheat because it's not fully launched. It's in a soft launch, so to speak, but it's the Criterion Channel. And the Criterion Collection I have spoken very highly of. They make some of the best DVDs and Blu-rays out there. They contribute a heck of a lot to film restoration. And I would hate to see where the world of cinema would be without Criterion Channel. Now, they used to have their movies on a service called Filmstruck, but then AT&T and Time Warner merged, and both of the conglomerates were not interested in a streaming service with a niche product. So Criterion Channel is breaking out into their own. Now, they are asking for money up front to kind of get the thing kickstarted because it's expensive to start a streaming channel. What they are doing is the movie of the week, so which means they are slowly uploading movies. Can we click that? I think I have to be logged in, which I don't. Oh, no, there we go. I thought I had to be logged in. And so this week's movie is To Sleep with Anger. That's the spine number if you went to buy this on DVD or Blu-ray. And you can watch it if you are a subscriber now. So it's not fully functional yet, but they are kind of, this is kind of like a weird way where they're kickstarting, and it's like they're trying to probably see how many people will pay for the subscription up front, and they will just slowly trickle out the movies. And then I think sometime in the summer they plan to fully launch the service when they have it all together. But here's the thing. The quality of their movies are so good that I would easily recommend this, even though we don't have a full site to work with yet. Now then, High Dive. This is an anime streaming site. Now, I mean, there's a few anime streaming sites out there that are very good. I have Crunchyroll. I did have Funimation until that whole Vic Mignogna thing. Google it. There's a lot of YouTube videos about that. But High Dive I like because they seem to be focusing on some older animes that are kind of getting overlooked. Like, for example, K-On! Season 1. Princess Principal. That's a good one. Pet Shop of Horrors. This I have not seen. Love, Election, and Chocolate. That could be interesting. The Legend of Heroes. I was totally surprised that would. So let's explore High Dive for a little bit. I know I've got some anime fans who watch this channel. So as you can see, they've got simulcasts, they've got dubs, they've got series, they've got movies. So you know, and by the way, it's now available on Xbox One. So you have some free episodes, like Blue. And then you have simulcast. By the way, Bloom Into You, that's a really good show that I've been enjoying. And, oh, okay, yeah, sure, accept the cookies, why not? So, The Promised Neverland, that is an excellent show. If you haven't been watching The Promised Neverland, you can watch that on Crunchyroll too, by the way, and Funimation. I think that one's on every one, but it's here too, if you want it. You've got dubs, so that's always nice. Here's some of the exclusives, like Sayuki Gaiden. That's an old one, but that's a classic. Pat Labor. Those are excellent movies, by the way. Coffee Samurai. Oh my gosh, I'd almost forgotten about that one. Here's your recently added, your trending now. Let's look at their movies real quick, because I think anime movies get overlooked because people really get into the series. But, you know, so here's the thing with movies. I liked this one, Beyond the Boundary, I'll Be Here Future. Actually, there's a few of them there, so those are all pretty good. Children Who Chase Lost Voices, that's an excellent one. Colorful. Oh my gosh, someone dug up Colorful and put Colorful is like a movie with a bunch of shorts all about panties. It's about it's as juvenile as it sounds. The Garden of Words, that's a good one. That's probably not the best one, but the director of Your Name directed that, and I think he directed that mainly to experiment with rain, but it's a beautiful film nonetheless. You have Gintama the movie, the original Gatchaman OVAs. You know, some of these things bring back memories. So many memories. And so again, I could have probably mentioned Crunchyroll or Funimation. Either one would have been just as fine. But I kind of mentioned High Dive because again, they're focusing on like old classics. When They Cry, I loved that one. And they kind of get overlooked the most. Like how much is High Dive? I kind of forget some when you've been subscribed so long. You kind of forget what they cost. But okay, yeah, $5 monthly, $47.99 a year. So yeah, that's definitely, see, less than $50 you can have all this anime, and you know it's on your Xbox One now. Now the next one we're gonna look at, you might think I'm joking at first. YouTube Premium. Yes, I am unapologetically and unironically recommending YouTube Premium. I mean, because here's the thing. First of all, I know people say like I want to have ad blockers. You know what? You can do YouTube Premium. You won't see anyone's ads on the channels. The creators will still get money, and then you will have access to other things like YouTube Music Premium and YouTube Originals. Now, what is YouTube Music Premium? That basically turns any YouTube video into a podcast or audio. So you can listen to it like an iPod. It's like Spotify in that case. And that's a really cool feature to have. And as for YouTube Originals are actually, a lot of them are actually really good. YouTube Originals. Like, let me show some of the things that you can watch with YouTube Premium. Sherwood. That is an excellent. In fact, let's see here. Maybe we can go here to the YouTube Originals. By the way, do you like my little logo? That's for my Apptrepreneur Vlogs channel. Still pimping that a little bit. Weird City. I haven't seen that one yet, but Sherwood, that's a good series. Viper Club, I remember that being pretty good. Origin, that was really good. The thinning was pretty bad, to be honest. Single by 30. I actually watched a couple episodes. That seemed pretty good. Yeah. Then you have your documentaries, although they still have not released Super Size Me 2. Come on, YouTube. It's been over a year. Like, when can we watch that? You've got music, you've got reality, you've got science fiction. But there's probably at least one series that definitely justifies the cost of YouTube Premium alone. That is Cobra Kai. And I'm not even the biggest Karate Kid fan out there. I liked the first two movies, didn't like the third one. I even liked the remake a little bit. But this is the show that I really started getting full use out of my YouTube Premium subscription, and I think this is what keeps a lot of people around for their. So, and I like how they give you the first 2 episodes free. So, like here, you can watch the first 2 episodes free, and then if you want to see the rest, you can pay for it. Now, I think what's going to happen is when season 2 comes out, they're going to make all of season 1 free because, again, Cobra Kai is definitely the best advertisement for this service than I can think of. But, there you go. So, YouTube Premium, unironically, unapologetically recommending that one. Now then, the next one, KanTV. KanTV, the reason I like it is because it's kind of a retro streaming site. Like, it shows 80s movies and TV shows and cartoons that a lot of the major streaming sites have kind of forgotten about. And as you can see the video in the background, some of it's really weird. But there's a lot of really good stuff on here. So, like, for example, Boogie. I do like Boogie. You have Nuclear Family, 22 Bullets. Here's Swamp Thing, the original Swamp Thing. This, which was a spoof of Wes Craven movies. And Little Shop of Horrors, not the musical, but the original one, the one that Jack Nicholson was actually in. Versus, here's some samurai stuff. There's an anime right there. Some stuff there. Violent and just a lot of weird stuff. Now, this is, of course, my favorite section. You have Gumby, Legend of Zelda, Digimon Adventure, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, and Sonic Underground. In fact, I'm wondering, does it have the original? I mean, I have it on DVD, so it doesn't really matter too much if they have it or not. I'm just kind of curious if they have the original Sonic the Hedgehog. And oh my gosh, there it is. Now, by the way, you see that there's like a lock here and there's like not a lock there. That means some stuff is actually free that you can watch without subscribing. You probably do watch some ads. But by the way, this Sonic the Hedgehog, always been my favorite. I'm not logged in on the computer for most of these. I'm logged into my Xbox or my PS4. But yeah, this is my favorite Sonic show. The DVDs are long out of print. If you watch like Sonic Conversation, or see, that's season 1. Yeah, Sonic Conversation or Blast to the Past Part 1 or 2. These are, and the frustratingly really good The Doomsday Project, which, boy, I really wish they'd had a 3rd season after that one. So, KanTV, it's the best way to describe it is just a lot of really retro stuff that most people have forgotten about, but KanTV didn't. They probably got this stuff really cheap, and so they're putting it on the site. How much does KanTV cost again? I don't recall it being very expensive. Let's see, if you get a premium member, let's see here. What's the premium member look like? It's not saying, is it? So, well, okay, I guess you'll just have to look it up. But I recall it was like only like $6 a month or something like that. Now this one I put on with a little bit of reluctance because frankly, I don't subscribe to this one. But I want to mention it for really one reason. Well, 2 reasons. First of all, this is the Star Trek Discovery. New Star Trek show, can only watch it on CBS All Access. So that's one thing. Also, apparently the new Twilight Zone show, which is being produced by Jordan Peele, I am definitely very much looking forward to that. It's only going to be on CBS Access. Now, what's going to stop me just a little bit from outright recommending it is, like, first of all, a lot of these shows, you can find them on Netflix, Hulu, and also CBS releases everything on DVD and Blu-ray. So, like Young Sheldon and The Big Bang Theory, I buy those on Blu-ray, and you can get the first season of Star Trek Discovery on Blu-ray. I picked it up. And so I think in the long run, it's cheaper to pick and buy your favorite shows than pay the $6 a month. But there is a lot of stuff on here. There's even like I Love Lucy, old favorites like that. So, I want to at least point out that it's there, and it's, for some people it might be worth getting. This next one also might be a little bit of the cheap PlayStation Vue. Now, what PlayStation Vue is, it's essentially one of the Hulu premiums or the YouTube TVs. You use this app and you can get live TV, or you can record TV and watch it later. The reason I do PlayStation Vue is because they have different tiers. They have different tiers on what you can use. I personally do the Elite. Actually, no. I think I just do the Core now that I think about it, because I don't really need the movies, and the sports is kind of maybe I should downgrade to Access because I don't really do sports. But you know, if you want to like watch the Oscars, the Grammys, or something, and you don't know where to stream it, well, PlayStation Vue. In all fairness, the Hulu TV and the YouTube TV also does this. This integrates better to the PlayStation 4, which, again, that and my Xbox One are what I primarily use as my streaming boxes, so that's why I have that one. Getting into some geek culture, though, a little bit. We have the DC Universe. And the DC Universe is definitely what it sounds like. It's a lot of stuff from the DC Universe, DC Comics. So as you see, you have the Batman versus Dracula movie, which I own on DVD, actually. I'm kind of ashamed to say. Doom Patrol, Musclebound. Batman, Court of Cows. Batman. So anyway, you might have even noticed already what one of the advantages to this thing is. Let's first go to the movies and TV, since we're talking about streaming. But Batman and Mr. Freeze, Sub-Zero, great movie, actually better than Batman and Robin. And then you have original content like Titans, a live-action Teen Titans show. You have the Batman, which I have all those seasons on DVD. Kind of an underrated show, to be honest. Doom Patrol, which I've not heard of. And probably the number one reason to subscribe right now, new seasons of Young Justice. If you haven't seen Young Justice, boy. Talk about a show that was canceled too soon. Thankfully, it got really good numbers on Netflix. But when Netflix didn't quite come to an agreement with Warner Brothers, they decided, hey, you know what? We'll kind of use that as the launching pad for the DC Universe. As you can see, we also have Birds of Prey, Constantine. I'm really still surprised Birds of Prey was only one season. You have movies like Justice League versus Teen Titans, Batman Year One, Batman Under the Red Hood. That one I highly recommend. You have the original Batman the Animated Series and the new Batman Adventures. You have Young Justice. These are, you have the Aquaman TV pilot, which I'm kind of wondering if they are regretting not greenlighting that, especially since he ended up joining Justin Hartley, I believe his name is. He ended up joining Smallville, and now he's on This Is Us. And there is a bonus, as you probably figured out if you were looking at this earlier. You can read comics. You can read DC Comics, and it's included as part of the subscription. Some classic stuff, too. So if you're a nerd, I know that Marvel has their own website out there, but so far they're not streaming their own shows and movies. And I think all that's going to go to the Disney Plus service, which, by the way, Disney Plus is not available as of the time of this recording. That's why it's not going to be on here. But there's some really nice stuff on the DC Universe. And I think it's like, $60 a year, something like that. But anyway, now this one gets overlooked a lot. And I mean like a lot. And that is Sony Crackle. Sony Crackle. Now, Sony Crackle is the Sony streaming service, but it's unique on this list because this is actually free. You don't pay for this one. At least the last time I checked, you don't pay for it. Now, you do have ads in the movies and in the show, so it works just like normal TV networks in that regard. And that might ultimately be where a lot of this is headed, where I think there might be a few services that you can pay for, but I think a lot of these sites are ultimately going to be free, and you just, they have sponsors. So I think that's where it's going to go. But they do have, here's some spotlights, like Spider-Man 3, The Green Hornet, War Dogs. These are very expensive movies. You have some originals like Startup, Snatch, Super Mansion. This one's actually, this one's a really interesting one. You have the Action Channel, you have the Drama Channel, Fandom Channel. And here's what's also nice. There's certain things like the Funimation Channel. Like, if you don't want to pay for the Funimation Channel, some of their stuff is on Crackle for free. And like Trigun, I highly, if you've not seen Trigun, that is highly recommended. And Assassination Classroom, definitely one of the best animes in recent, and Steins Gate. Oh boy, is that a twister. And Samurai Champloo, so you can get some Funimation stuff for free on Crackle. Now, the Funimation channel still has more stuff, it should be noted, but so yeah, and again, this one you don't have to pay for. So it kind of almost begs the question why more people don't have it. But now we get to my last channel. And this one, by the way, is so far my favorite. I discovered this channel because of a Costco deal where I signed up for a Movie Pass annual subscription, and it came with this service subscription for free. It was kind of like a bonus, but boy, was it a bonus. It ended up being worth more than the Movie Pass ended up, and that's FanDoor. And this is where, first of all, look at the blog posts talking about Dogtooth, the final shot. This is the site for movie fans. They have classics, documentaries, foreign films, shorts. Oh my gosh, the shorts. I mean, look at the popular films. Kiss Kiss Finger Bang, Deborah Pageant, for example. A Shock to the System. That's an excellent movie. Dogtooth. Oh boy. By the way, Dogtooth was directed by the guy who directed The Favorite. This one's a lot blacker, though, just to give you a heads up. Take Off, Phone Call. And here's the thing, genres, animation. Love the fact that they have an animation section, and it's beyond your typical Disney stuff. Like Belladonna of Sadness. That's an interesting one. That's I'm not going to talk about it. That's just very interesting. Boy, some stuff that I haven't even... They've added a lot since I last came here. This is all interesting. Like I wish I could be logged in so I could kind of show you what some of my favorites that's on here, but like they have like The Danish Girl, which was like an Academy Award winning. Christmas Cracker, that's an Oscar nominated short. That was kind of interesting. The Danish Poet, that's an excellent one. That is an excellent one. The Danish Poet won an Academy Award for Best Animated Short. And there was this one animator who I discovered his works. He did really good animation like the Dancing Shoes and White Skin. Actually, I think this was one of his shorts, the Marzipan Pig. Michael Sporn, yeah, his work. I discovered his work through FanDoor, and it's excellent. Whitewash, that's one of them. Jazz Time Tale, that's an excellent one. The Red Shoes, the Marzipan Pig. Did not like the story of the Dancing Frog as much. Nightingale, that was an excellent one. So Abel's Island, just, in fact, heck, I'm gonna give it a like. Just that guy deserves a like. So FanDoor is like $60 a and there's a FanDoor statement. Okay, what's the to seek service? Okay, this is a little... I actually am not aware of this. FanDoor has prided itself on providing access to great film and visual experience to a broad audience. While we have had notable successes, the business challenges of space we have operated in are immense. We have completed a transaction that allows a new entity to seek to continue the service under different management. This is a disappointing outcome for all who have contributed to and embraced our mission to date. We continue to hope that the prospect of reaching diverse audiences with great visual storytelling will inspire creators over... Okay, I was actually not aware that had happened recently, and that's concerning. First of all, FanDoor was a site that actually shared profits with the creators 50-50, which showed you where their heart was. But that almost sounds like we're going to shut this down. So if anyone hasn't checked out FanDoor, I definitely recommend you subscribe, give it a chance. It's really not expensive. Hopefully they continue to survive, but who knows? I know that like a lot of people, a lot of these companies don't want niche streaming services. What else are they pulling up?
My choices for streaming services outside of Netflix and Hulu. Now, of course, I still have
anyway,
Netflix,
those are
Hulu,
some of
Crunchyroll, all that stuff. But I have most of these services, and you know, I do think there is value in stepping outside of Netflix and Amazon to find some truly unique stuff. Now, some people will point out Netflix normally produces more content than you can even keep up with on them themselves. But I do like that there's these other sites that exist. Yes, it does get expensive sometimes. Thankfully, the smaller sites do tend to offer annual subscriptions, so it's like a one lump payment as opposed to a little, like you're paying $100 a month. But there you have it. So anyway, that's where we're going to leave this. What says you? Oh, by the way, it should be mentioned, not a huge sports fan. That's why we're not talking about any sports streaming services. But here's the good news. If you are a sports streaming fan, there are multiple streaming services for sports. So I think sports streaming in and of itself can have a top 10 list of its own if anyone out there is so interested in making one. In the meantime, what says you? Do you have any of these in your bookmarks? You know, do you subscribe to any of yourselves? I would love to know. Are any of you going to subscribe and try them out now that you are aware of them? I would love to know all of that. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.